back then, if you were 17 years old, you was an adult. So if you actually picked up an adult case, more times than not, they would age you out the system, meaning they would take that adult case that would take priority over your juvenile record, and now you became an adult and they would discharge you from the juvenile system. Many of us picked up adult cases, dare I say, on purpose, just to get out the juvenile system. That's how much of a fucking mind game it was.
Any intro's cool. Let's get them involved. You ready? Yeah, how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Yeah. It goes something like this. It's like this. Check it. Yo, when I say life is, y'all say special. Life is.
In this episode right here, we're going to talk about the juvenile system and the school system push the juveniles out into the adult system. When you have teachers knowing that you're a DYS kid, and every move you make inside school, if you're late, skipping class, I'm gonna call your caseworker. We didn't grow up with dads, so moms, when she got mad, I'm gonna call your caseworker.
And I think punishment is the wrong construct.
Once you physically remove a child from their home against their will in a facility at the Department of Youth Services, I mean, that's a huge accountability piece.
From there, our job is not to punish them. Our job is to build them back up.
Basically, the way these caseworkers work, they would try to threaten you with programs and turn your mother against you, your family against you. They had trackers that would track you down to where you're at. If you wasn't doing the right thing, you get shackled and handcuffed and put back into the system and detained. No questions asked, no judges, no police, all Department of Youth Service.
Sometimes the kids are not very respectful, particularly when you're talking about DYS kids. You've got a whole society which still is saying, well, wait a minute, the kid is, it is
still juvenile corrections.
So he is in that. So he's got that kind of an image anyway. And I've heard staff say it over the years, after all we've done for you, you could do this to us, you ran away, you this, you that. You take it as a personal affront or something. You take it out on the kid. If the kid says something you don't like, and back in the old days, you just knock them down. Wonderful thing in Massachusetts.
Girls are more likely to be runaways, for instance, than boys. And we like to think that they're running from something most of the time as opposed to something.
Chances are you got pushed through junior high with DYS credits, and now you're in high school. Some of us went to alternative schools. And everybody in the high school, all the teachers, staff, even the kids know you're a DYS kid, right? You have that image now, just like the commissioner was saying. So you've been dealing with this type of mental abuse this whole time. If you come off a certain way, we're gonna call your casework and get you up out of this school. You're gonna get locked up. And now keep in mind, you don't have to be on the run from DYS, from actually running from a facility, although we did go AWOL many times. You can actually just not report, not talk to your caseworker when he calls, not talk to your tracker when he calls, stay at your friend's house for 3 days, skip school. Guess what? They're coming to get you, and you're going to get lugged right back. So you know all this. So that's when the self-sabotage happens. And all the kids, all the DYS kids are saying to you, hey man, you could just pick up an adult case and they'll drop all the juvenile stuff, right? And you don't have to go through that no more. So that's on your mind, believe it or not. You're thinking like, hey, if I pick up an adult case, I can drop all this juvenile. I don't have to deal with my tracker no more, the meetings. I don't want to deal with all that. I'll just pick up this adult case.
And you're right. Indeed you are. However, you're still only 17 years old. There's no way you can possibly understand what's about to happen at 17 years old.
But I believe we should have a 3-tier system. We should have a juvenile system to 20, 21 years of age. We should have a young adult system from 21 to say 28, and then an adult system. First off, I'm a parent, and I just could not see them as adults when they were 17, but I also know how easy it is to end up in the system. One of the major feeders for our court system was schools. Once you have been arrested, it's there forever. Once you've been arraigned in court, it cannot be erased. It will create barriers that children don't even know.
Right? So think about it. Now what happens? You're 17 years old. You just did a bid. You come home. What's the next step? You're in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people all too often. I've seen it time and time again, and it's wild. Those are long-lasting effects. When you're that young and you sit through trauma like that.
In the newspaper, they would put your name in the police vlog, and people would read that in the city. Actually, people would actually grab the local paper just to see who got arrested. And if your name was in that adult section, now you got that black eye forever. Now when you go back to school, you got arrested, they're kicking you out of school. Now you're kicked out of school. 17 years old, got an adult case, just copped out to some probation with a 2-year suspended inside a prison at 17 for some stupid crime, for something that doesn't even make sense. And that's how it all starts.
Chances are 9 times out of 10 you're still living home. You don't have life experience. However, now you're in jail.
14 years old to 18 years old, it's real easy to lose a kid. And they gotta buy in, right? And you gotta be real careful because they're moving through high school and they wanna get out, you wanna get them through school. And it's real easy to lose them. Now, all the mothers and the fathers, don't start parenting. Don't say, hey, you know, I have a son, he's 18, he's messing up, you kick him out. Don't do that. Mothers out there that doing it themselves, that have deadbeat dads, don't become a deadbeat mom. Because just because you took care of us since we were young kids, we turn 18, 19 years old, y'all forget about us. Not all you mothers, but I see it a lot. And that's when we need the parenting the most. So don't give up. Stick with your son, stick with your daughter, right? That's when we need the parenting the most. It's the buy-in. And you just don't want to lose your kids out here, man. You know, it ain't nothing but jail, institution, and death. Like, subscribe. I'm out.
It still affects you to this day, like being in DYS? You think it kind of groomed you to go to prison? Hardened you to go to prison?
Absolutely. Really. Rosendale was the Walpole of DYS. Lock a kid in there when they're 14. What do you think they're going to act like when they get out?
Completely changes the way that you act as a person. And like, I wish that, you know, I had never put myself through that, because now it's like you can't undo it.
He's coming home. Coming home. And now they're arresting me.
I've been here and there on the run, you know what I mean? True story, you know? Department of Youth Service,